Meh. Meh.
That's what the call sounds like. Make sure you listen to it.
Okay.
I just shot a buck. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, hey guys, welcome to another video. Another week here in the Pennsylvania deer woods. It's Thursday, October 9th. I'm set up in this box stand my dad and I built last year. I hunted here a couple of days ago and we encountered that velvet buck. And I was editing that footage today, so I got a much better look. Definitely velvet. Very skinny. I could see his ribs, I could see his hips. Something isn't right. So I want to get hopefully a closer look today. And, you know, if it looks like what I think, we'll probably go ahead and try to harvest him if he gives us a shot. It's a big if. Last time he just stayed down there for my right shoulder, but beautiful day today. It's about 60, 62 degrees. Very light northeast wind. Honestly, there's a ton of sign back in here, more so than when I came back just a few days ago. Rubs, deer scat everywhere. I think they're using this oak flat, so let's see what comes through. Well, pretty good and dark back here in the hemlocks. I can hear a pin drop right now. I don't hear any footsteps or anything in the leaves, so I'm gonna go ahead and pack up and get down. I'm a little encouraged by the fact we didn't see that velvet buck. You know, he's not confined to right here, just hanging out every single day, so we'll keep an eye out for him, but that makes me feel just a little bit better. Man, it feels good to be back in the saddle. In this case, literally. It's Saturday, October 11th. A little warmer today, 65 degrees. Supposed to be 58 at last light. And behind me is the same field that I shot my doe in on Wednesday. I sat that stand twice, and on both occasions, 5 or 10 minutes before last light, a whole bunch of deer came up about 45 yards or so to the right of that stand. So, trying to make the most of that, I got up in this tree. It splits into like 3 or 4 pieces. There's a couple other limbs. I really think this is a spot that they're just not going to see us. It's a south wind, which is ideal for them to come out this trail right here. And it's supposed to be breezy, so little movement here and there, maybe to get adjusted for a shot. That wind might cover us a bit, so I've shot a deer with a muzzleloader out of a saddle. I've never gotten one with a bow. Hopefully that changes tonight. Got 7 minutes left. No sign of the deer that have been using this trail to come out. Those are different does and fawns, and, you know, probably I've spent too much time back here already, if I can identify that, but I can. There's the doe that had been coming up here, the lead doe. It's real dark, just big old doe. And there had been, I don't know, 7 or 8 other deer with her, so that is another group. I really like this spot. I think if these deer don't show up in the next few minutes, I'm going to leave my sticks, I'm going to leave my platform, and I might try this again sometime early next week. Something just snapped over there. They had been running up to this spot, but don't think that's what that was. heard something and kind of ran back this direction, maybe 10 yards, and now they're all facing this way. Gonna be a very slow process getting out tonight, I think. If I can get down, I can scoot around this hill, but just unfortunately not coming out in the right spot. I think I've identified where they come out in the field. Might try to make a move on them Friday. Saturday's the early muzzleloader opener, so that can shake stuff up quick. You know, they start getting lead flung at them. That can really, push them back to like very last second movement. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start backing up real slow while there's some light. Try to get down out of here clean. Well, here it is, Friday, October 17th. It's already 1 day away from Pennsylvania's early muzzleloader season. It's a doe-only season, but I just imagine, more hunters getting into the woods, deer getting shot at by a gun. This is probably the last day to really catch them moving early, outside of cold fronts and running activity and all that. So we're back in the saddle again today. I'd say we're probably 55 yards further down this field edge where we saw them Wednesday night. They came out in this low spot. It's probably 35 yards to my left. I did not like any of those trees. I thought we were way too likely to get spotted from that spot. So I came up the field edge a little bit, and hopefully they'll just feed right up this edge. And I like our setup. This tree splits probably only about 6 feet up, but I'm able to have the camera on the right side, my saddle set up on the left, so filming and shooting around the camera is going to be easier. Hopefully we get to test that out and see if that's actually the case. So gonna sit back, relax, 58 degrees, real light, northwest wind, supposed to shift to a west right about dark. So I like our chances. Just gotta hope they come out where they've been coming out.
meh, meh.
I have no idea if that was on film. They did not come out where I thought they did. Or I'd have been 10 yards further that way. That first one came out at like 3 yards. I knew I'd never get drawn back. She saw me up here. I tried to lift my bow up. And then this one was coming up, and it was very clear. It was right there, or it wasn't going to happen. And I stopped her, and she kind of turned to face me. And then she started to turn back. And I tried to punch that up under the shoulder, quartering two. It looked like it got enough penetration to me. Not as much as you'd like. I surely hope that hit where I think it did. I'm gonna get down and go mark where she was standing and watch that back, see if I can see anything. Probably not. I was zoomed out pretty far, but I think I've maybe just gotten my first archery deer from a saddle. I'm not even like shaking right now. And it'll hit me probably as I start to get down. But not having, if that arrow gone in 6 more inches, I'd have probably dang near fallen out of the tree.
Upon reviewing the footage, it was very clear to me I was way off on what had actually happened there. I knew the angle was quartering to a bit, but this deer is quartering far more than I actually realized. Now the camera is to the right of where I'm at, so the angle is a little bit less so than it appears here. I also thought as she turned away from me, it opened up that chest cavity a lot more than it really did. She did not make much of a turn. Watching her run off there, knowing the arrow went in maybe a max of 14 inches, we decided to give her a couple of hours to make sure she'd be expired by the time we got there.
Well, I don't hate that. Nock's broken. There's pretty decent blood on the arrow. That looks really good. See that on that leaf? Right there? Up underneath? Yeah. Blood all over this stuff. Yeah, I saw a bunch up on that. There's blood up on these vines. Look at that. There's real bright stuff here. It's up there too? So it had to have punched out the other side. Where'd she come through at? I don't want to get going too far, but oh, she's right there. She ran 80 yards. Right here. You're right. Oh, okay.
Well, here she is. I gotta say right now, shout out to G5 and G5 Dead Meat Broadheads. They are not a sponsor. I am just extremely impressed. I certainly made a mistake tonight. It worked out just fine. I'll get into that. I did not realize how hard this doe was quartering when I took the shot. From my view, I had stopped her there. I knew she was quartering too, but she started to turn away. and I thought she opened up that chest cavity way more than she did. The entry was way up here through the shoulder blade. It actually went through the heart. She ran 80 yards, was probably dead in 15 seconds, and I'm very thankful for that. I was, I'll be honest, I was tore up. You know, you see an arrow sticking out like that up in that area, you never know what's going to happen. Fortunately, all the, you know, tuning and stuff, messing around with my arrows this year, shorten them up, 5mm, stiffer spine, all those things I think contributed to punching through, and actually the broadhead is just stuck in the opposite rib. So ultimately it worked out really good. Like I said, you know, heart shot brought her down very quickly, so I'm very thankful. You know, this wasn't a single long and, you know, 4 or 5 hour deal. But more importantly, like I said, angles matter a lot, and in the heat of the moment, you know, you think one thing happens, that's not always the case. I certainly wish I'd spent a little more time to double check that, but as I said, it worked out. This is a beautiful, nice big doe. Sounds like something's, fox or something's coming over to check it out. But it's gonna fill the freezer. Certainly gonna free me up to probably buck hunt a little bit more coming into early muzzleloader here, starting tomorrow. And, you know, frankly, I'm sitting here in the woods with a bright light and talking to you guys, but we didn't end up pressuring stuff too bad coming in here and recovering her. Like I said, she probably ran 80 yards, slid, maybe not even that far. She ended up 80 yards away, slid down the hill a little bit. Just super thankful that that worked out as it did. And, you know, first archery kill from the saddle, not quite the memory I would want it to be, at least getting down. You know, watching the footage, I was a little bit concerned, but ended up making a heart shot. Fortunate, yes. Happy hunter, yes. A lot of venison for the freezer, and like I said, whole bunch more hunting to go, including as we get here deeper into October, some buck hunting and chasing some with some antler on their head. So very thankful for this doe tonight, very thankful things worked out. Like I said, double check your angles, guys, because came very close to getting me tonight.